Your thought on where we stand with the Veolia contract? Clearly, you have concerns about what happened and how it happened.
Yeah, I'm absolutely concerned about what happened and how it happened. You know, we have a process, that's written in law that we're supposed to follow in processing contracts through the city and ultimately signing contracts that come before us. And it appears in this case that one of the steps may have been skipped. I've had an opportunity to review the letter that was sent from the city council's office, and the case law that she states in the letter shows within that case law that before we sign a contract, it has to be written, spelled out in the budget, or it has to go before the Board of B&A. In this case, they're working on skipping the Board of B&A.
For citizens who might, be coming in on this just for the first time today, what's important for St. Louisans about this? Is this more of a issue where you feel like it's trying to kind of be shoved through kind of backwards or kind of not by the whole process, or is there a real issue there with why the public should be concerned?
Well, there is a real issue where the public should be concerned. That the water and the cost of water and the quality of our water in the city of St. Louis impacts absolutely everyone. Right? So when we enter into these types of things, it's important to make sure that the people of the city of St. Louis, have a voice into the process. Right? And if you look at this process, we absolutely skipped some of that. Because the people of the city of St. Louis, they've been very vocal about this issue. They've said that they've had some major problems with this specific vendor. Right? Veolia Water has problems all across the United States and internationally. So part of the issue that the residents of the city said, why should we choose that vendor when we have other vendors that we can choose to do the same thing?
The protesters are saying that this is just the beginning. First it's consulting, and then the French will eventually take over city water. What are your worst fears?
And that's been the history. That's been the history. If you look at all the other contracts that Veolia Water has entered into, domestically and internationally, it's been a phased process where they get phase one, and 100% of the time they come in and take on phase two of the project also. And the problem with that is, in certain cities, they've been called out for pumping raw sewage back into the water system. They've been thrown out of cities all across the United States, and it is, I think it is, with other competent, qualified, and capable vendors out there readily available, why not choose some? And the things that they're talking about, that they're stating, they're saying they can help us with, we can do those things today. We can go out and make sure every house is metered. We have journeyman plumbers, we can do that. We can go out and take a look at what we need to do to repair all of the breaks in our water system. All of these things that they're talking about, telling us how to do, they're not so complex that the average journeyman plumber or the carpenter or whoever we have working over there can handle.